God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day to unlock every gift inside. Let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know you can win. Live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack.
An envious person can never reciprocate your loyalty and kindness because they harbor war in their heart towards you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you find value here. Let's get this channel to 100,000 subscribers. I know with your support we can reach that goal. If this channel has helped you in any way, let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to let me know what city are you from, what state are you from. If you have any of my books, which one do you have and how has it helped you? Let me know in the comments. If you are a member of the channel, are you a member of any of the clubs and how has it helped you? If you're a member of the Wellness Club, the Insiders Club, the Leaders Circle. So many people find themselves sourly disappointed and frustrated because somebody who they thought was a friend or a family member who they were close to never showed them the kind of loyalty and kindness that you may have shown that person. And you're left racking your brain wondering, I was so good to them. Like I helped them when they were at their lowest. Like when they didn't have a place to stay, without hesitation, I opened up my home to them. When they were looking for a job, I sat there with them. We did mock interviews. I helped them develop their resume. I gave them leads. And it's not even about counting favors, but I'm just saying, like, as good as I was to them, my hand don't call for this level of betrayal. How can they do me like that? How can they talk about me like a dog and throw mud on my name? How can they try to romantically get involved with my spouse? Like, how can they send my spouse nude pictures? How could they steal from me? How could they try to turn my children against me? How could they lie on my name? But it's important to understand that an envious person, that person that you thought was a friend, that family member that you thought because you grew up together, that they would reciprocate your loyalty and kindness. When a person has war in their heart, they can never reciprocate your loyalty and kindness. They can be nice, but not kind. Nice is the appearance of kindness without the fruit of kindness. And so this is what gets people every time, because they are being nice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are a kind, genuine person. Nice is the appearance of kindness without the fruit of kindness. This is why they will make you promises, say all the right things, speak to you in a loving tone, but you don't see any real fruit produced in the direction of kindness, compassion, mercy, right? That things that you can actually see, patience, love, associated with acts of kindness. And so I want to read you a scripture that will drive the point home. And it comes from Psalm 55, verse 21. And it says, his words are smooth as butter, yet war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Let me read you another version. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. This is the King James Version. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So look at the analogy that the scripture is giving. The person's words were smoother than butter. So think about when a narcissist, right, is trying to get in good with you. For whatever reason, you have a resource they want, you have something they want. So they need to get access to you as quickly as possible. And so the easiest way to do this, the quickest path to that, is going to be to flatter you, is going to be to charm you, right? But the Bible lets us know that flattery spreads a net for our feet. So the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but look what was in his heart. War was in his heart. And so you can have someone who is envious of you, but they have need of you. They need you for a specific thing. And so they're not going to be upfront with you. So war is in their heart, but their words are smooth, right? Their words are softer than oil, speak to you in a nice voice, compliment you, but it's flattery. It's not a sincere compliment. There's a difference between flattery, which spreads a net for our feet, and sincere, genuine compliment. And then it goes on to say, the words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So think about a sword, right? And how a sword will cut your head off. So they're drawn swords. So you don't realize they got that knife spiritually behind their back, ready to stab you in the back at a moment's notice. I want to read you another scripture that'll really help you to see that when you have an envious friend, so-called friend, really a friend of me, or family member in your orbit, that you confuse their niceness with kindness, or you thought because you were loyal, good, and kind to them that they were going to reciprocate. But you'll hear me say time and time again, we don't know people by our fruit. You can't guarantee that. You know people by their fruit, not your fruit, right? And so Proverbs 26, verses 24 and 25 also give us some more insight into a person with a hateful heart. Envy is a form of hate. And so it says, a hateful man disguises himself with his speech, but he lays up deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, do not believe him, for 7 abominations fill his heart. Dag, 7 abominations, that's strong. 7 abominations. And so a hateful man, and remember the Bible will use the word man to describe mankind, so this is man or woman. A hateful person disguises their true intentions with their speech. So this is why they could be like, girl, I love that dress. All the while, yeah, she looks so-and-so, she thinks she cute. Oh, I see you got a new car, you doing your thing. I can't stand him. And you're not hearing the stuff they're saying behind your back. You're not hearing their thoughts. You're just hearing the fake compliments, right? The flattery, which is insincere praise. So a hateful man disguises himself with his speech, but he lays up deceit in his heart. So you're not really getting the true heart of the person. you're getting the deceitful heart, because they don't really rock with you like that. They don't really like you like that. And particularly when you're a kind person and you're genuine, right? You are naturally giving, kind, and genuine. So what greedy person, what selfish person is going to turn down something that benefits them? Not very many. And so you can't go by the fact that you are kind and generous that they're going to be loyal because you're loyal. That's your fruit. That's not their fruit. And then look what else it says. It goes on to say, Proverbs 26, 24, and 25, when he speaks graciously, you can't even believe him. It says, don't believe him. For 7 abominations fill his heart. Now that number 7 signifies the number of completion. So it's not always a literal number, right? And so it might not be 7 per se. It might be 77. It might be 700. But what it's saying is that that person's heart is completely filled with abomination, with greed, with hatred, with envy, with resentment, wanting to see harm come to you, wanting to set you up and sabotage you, wanting to steal, kill, and destroy from you, right? John 10:10 says the thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. But Christ comes so that we may have life and have life more abundantly. And we know that the enemy uses people. The enemy also uses our own thoughts and emotions. But in the context of this video, talking about envious people that you may have been good to because you didn't realize that they were envious of you, or maybe you saw the signs, because a lot of times we see the signs, but you don't want to believe it because of who that person is to you. It's harder to believe that somebody you grew up with, somebody you went to college with or high school with, or somebody you're related to and you've been good to. Sometimes it's very hard to wrap your mind around that someone can hate you to such a degree that they want to see harm come to you, and you don't have that type of hate. It's very hard to wrap your mind around that. But there's a reason that these scriptures give us wisdom in knowing how to deal with deceitful people. Now, this is what the scripture says about envy. You've heard me share this verse several times, but it bears repeating here. James chapter 3, verse 16 says, for where there is envy and self-seeking, there's confusion and every evil work. So where there's envy and self-seeking, meaning selfish ambition, right? So when an envious person has a selfish ambition, there's something you have that will benefit them, but they don't really like you. In fact, they hate you. They can't stand you. They're not going to show that. They're going to speak gracious words, but you can't believe that, because 7 abominations. Phil, you dealing with a whole abomination. 7 abominations. That's a lot. 7 abominations fill their heart. This is why when the mask comes off and they do the most horrific, most malevolent, hideous things, and you are left like, I can't wrap my mind around how someone could be so wicked and evil. Well, baby, 7 abominations filled their heart. That stuff was there all along. They were just disguising it. See, war was in their heart. Abomination is in their heart. Not only that, where there's envy and self-seeking, look at the fruit of envy. Where there's envy and self-seeking, you're going to see 2 specific fruits. You're going to see confusion and every evil work. So it's not a specific evil work, because it is encompassing all forms of evil, this scripture. So you won't be surprised if they lie on you. Lying on your name is evil. You won't be surprised if they are trying to aggressively have a relationship with your spouse behind your back, and sending naked pictures or whatever they're doing, and you caught them out there and you are shocked. You're like, I've been so good to this person. Or they try to turn your kid against you. They reach out to your child online behind your back, and they are trying to get your child to tell them what's happening in your household, to get in your household business, so that they can begin to store up information, because envious spirits are also monitoring spirits, so that they can have leverage to use something against you. And they'll come through your children and don't care nothing about your children. They're flattering your children. Oh, your mom doesn't understand you. Well, I understand you. Yeah, your dad is so strict. He never lets you go anywhere. Your mom is so strict. She never lets you do sleepovers. If you were my child, I would not treat you like that. You are so mature for your age. All the while they're grooming your child, because 7 abominations are in their heart, and you were good to them. That's the clincher. That's the thing that make you hurt somebody. Like you were good to them, and you can't wrap your mind. See, this is the thing that put people in jail. This is why people snap. But we don't want you to snap, right? I don't want you to snap. So this is why I share these videos to prepare people for how things really are, because everybody ain't like you. Everybody, babes, don't have your fruit. You could be the most kind-hearted, sweet, generous, loving person in the world. Everybody's still not like you. And newsflash, everybody is not going to appreciate it. They'll take it. Taken doesn't mean appreciate. They'll take it because they have need of it or it benefits them, and still dog you out and talk about you behind your back. Why? Well, 7 abominations. 7. A hateful man disguises himself with his speech. Proverbs 26:24 through 25. Chapter 26, verse 24, 25. But he lays up deceit. Now, when you lay something up, that means you're storing. That means that there's a lot of it. He lays up deceit. All the time, he's looking or she's looking for ways to deceive you because they don't really like you no way. And when they speak graciously, it says, don't believe them for 7 abominations. Whew. My. Rule their heart. Now, Jeremiah 9:8 says, their tongues are deadly arrows. They speak deception. With his mouth, a man speaks peace to his neighbor, but in his heart, he sets a trap for him. Now, again, the language is saying man, but this is man or woman. And so when you're dealing with an envious spirit, which is a deceptive spirit and also a monitoring spirit, right? Their tongues are deadly arrows because their tongues are going to hit where you are most vulnerable. So if you have given them information that lets you know you have a mother wound, baby, you're going to find a spiritual mother. And every spiritual mother ain't a spirit from God. You will find someone who want to come in the name of being a spiritual mother, but really they want to wreak havoc in your life. They want to use you. And so their tongue is a deadly arrow because their tongue knows just what to hit in order to leave you even more vulnerable and have you opening up more and more rather than guarding your heart around this deceptive person. See, it says with his mouth a man speaks peace to his neighbor. So they speaking peace to you in front of your face, but in their heart they're setting up a trap for you. And think about, I reference this movie often, but it bears repeating. That was Jeremiah 9:8, the scripture. When you think about the movie Selena, the story of Selena, not just the movie, but this was her life story. And Yolanda, who came in peace, so to speak, but she didn't really come in peace. So she came in the appearance of peace, would be more accurate. And she was very flattering to Selena. I'm your biggest fan. I'm your biggest fan. And when a person is trying to get close to you to sabotage you, you got to understand they've been studying you for a while, whether they're studying from afar or whether they're studying up close. And Selena's this beautiful, beautiful singer with an amazing voice. And Yolanda's not stupid. When somebody is doing the devil's bidding, they also have a form of wisdom. It is not godly wisdom, it is demonic wisdom, but it is wisdom nonetheless. And she understood this is a person who is singing to stadiums. This is a person who probably doesn't really get an opportunity to build friendships because she's always on the road. This is a person who probably doesn't have an opportunity to really let her hair down beside her immediate family because she's a public figure. And so the thing that would naturally be missing in her life would be close friends who have close proximity to her. And so they might have been friends that she grew up with, but remember, her life is now you're on the road, you're performing, you're in the studio. So you're not really getting to see a lot of the people that you have formed close, genuine attachments with over the years. And so Yolanda can see that opening, because a person who has strong envy towards you and they want your life, they're studying, right? This is a great example. Think about an understudy for the play. So the understudy is there in the event that something happens to the lead performer. They can easily go into that role, right? The lead performer can get sick. Anything could happen. They can quit. So the understudy has to study the part as if they're going to play that role, even though they may be constantly sitting in the audience night after night after night after night. And then one day something happens to the lead performer for whatever reason, and they cannot perform in the show. The understudy gets the call, we need you to go on ahead and take that role. They've been studying, they've been preparing. When they're home, they're continuing to study and prepare, so they're ready to go right in that role. And so similarly, when you are dealing with somebody who wants your life, who's envious of the things that you have, whether they're the tangible things that you can see, like your possessions, whether it is your aesthetic, which is something you can see, the way you look, the way you dress, or whether it is the intangibles, like the people who love you, the joy, the integrity, the positive reputation, the peace that you have, whatever the thing is that they envy. They have been studying for a way to get close to you, but they're also studying for what could be missing in your life. And so you can't believe somebody who's envious. And a hateful person, remember, envy is a form of hate. They disguise themselves with their speech, but they're laying up deceit in their heart. But where there's envy and self-seeking, there's two things you're going to constantly see. At some point, it's going to rear its ugly head. You're going to see confusion and every evil work. I want you to think back to somebody who it came to light that they were envious of you, and you thought this person to be a close friend, or maybe it was a family member. And I want you to think back to the first instance where there was a misunderstanding. That's confusion. The first instance where there was some sort of he say, she say, and when you confronted them, they said, no, you took it out of context. I didn't say that. That person is lying. And you let it go because you had no proof, but something kind of just stayed in the back of your mind. That's confusion. He say, she say is confusion. Or maybe you told them something and you told them not to tell anybody else, to keep it in confidence. And it got back to you that they told somebody else. And they tried to gaslight you into believing that you were blowing things out of proportion and making a mountain out of a molehill, when in fact they weren't gossiping about you. They were just sharing their concerns about you behind your back. So begin to think about that. And what will happen is you will begin to see that there were signs of confusion and evil at work within the way that they came around, within the way that they handled you, even if it's ever so subtle. It can even be you had a goal or a dream and they tried to instill self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy, but they did it in a way as to not come off like they were hating, but they were trying to give you constructive feedback, but there was nothing constructive about it. Really think about it. If you need to, write it down, because this will begin to help you identify these patterns. If it happens again in another relationship, you will pinpoint it quicker. So with that being said, this is why you can't be shocked when you do things out of the kindness of your heart and you're dealing with someone who maybe you didn't recognize initially was an envious spirit, your so-called friend, your family member, and you are flabbergasted. You are flabbergasted, and you are totally perplexed as to how could this be. But you got to remember that they don't have your fruit. You know people by their fruit, not your fruit, right? That's what the scriptures say. The specific scripture says we know them by, you shall know them by their fruits, right? So you know people by their fruits, not your fruits. And that's Matthew 7:16. It says, you will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? So you will know them by their fruits, not your fruit. So I hope this has helped. And if you want more guidance in really beginning to train your powers of discernment, because discernment needs to be trained according to the scriptures, I would encourage you to come to the upcoming workshop that I'm having. It's March 29th, the last Saturday in March, and it's called Discernment 101, How to Sharpen Your Sixth Sense for Maximum Effectiveness, Insight, and Impact. And this workshop is going to give you the blueprint to train your powers of discernment so that you can see past the social veneer, the gracious words when there's war in a person's heart, that can get you to begin to see beyond the charm and flattery into the real spirit that you are dealing with. Hebrews chapter 5 verse 14 says, "But solid food is for the mature, for those who have their powers of discernment trained by constant practice to distinguish good from evil." And so powers of discernment can be trained. And so this is happening March 29th by Zoom. So this means wherever you are in the world, you are able to join. So you can get your tickets. I'll leave the link in the video description box. It will take you to the Eventbrite ticketing page where you can read more about what will be offered. The workshop also comes with a workbook. It is an on-camera workshop, so everybody is required to be on camera. We will not be videotaping. There will be no video recording available. People often ask, could they purchase the video recording afterwards? The answer is no. Because I want to create a safe space for people to speak freely, there are no recordings available. It's a live event. You miss the live, you miss it. So when you click on the link, it'll take you to Eventbrite. You can read about what it entails. And if it's something that you want to get a ticket to, then you'll see the information to do so. I also want to let you know about the book, Rise Above the Haters, because that will really help you to cultivate what I call your hater-proof powers, which is your inner ability to not allow hateful people to bring you down. And if they brought you down, to not allow them to keep you down. And the book is part journal, part workbook, part biblical guidebook that really takes you through a process biblically of how not to allow your haters to derail your destiny and get in the way of the things that God has for you. So that's Rise Above the Haters for anyone that's interested. And you'll see the link to all of my books on Amazon in the video description box for anyone who's interested in that. So with that being said, as a reminder, we start our soul fast. For those who are doing the corporate soul fast with us, we start our soul fast Wednesday, March 5th. Wednesday, March 5th, we start our 40-day soul fast during the season of Lent. For anyone who's interested, you will see the video attached to this video. You'll see it linked to this video so that you can learn more about the soul fast by way of the video for anyone who's interested. So with that being said, have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care.
No matter who you are, you will have haters. John 15 verse 18 says, if the world hates you, know that it hated Jesus first. So if you have haters, know that God is greater than your haters. Lately you've been feeling the weight of your haters coming at you with their envy and their hate, scheming against you, throwing mud on your name. But God's gonna work it out despite their lies and game. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Let the haters hate while you elevate. Pay no mind to the critics, be about your goals. Keep rising, keep shining. Your haters can't stop no show. They can hate all they want to. Remember you are blessed. Never let a hater see you sweat, cause this is just a test. God is greater, so much greater than your haters. God is greater, don't give up, it'll pay off later. God is greater, through the pain you're a giant slayer. Let the haters hate while you elevate. Don't let the negativity poison your mind. Run your race grace with grace, one day at a time. They can laugh and they can mock you, but you won't miss a beat. When people don't receive you, shake the dust off your feet. God is greater, so much greater than your head.